So for reversing entries, the following adjusting entries need to be reversed. So what are these? Typically, ito naman sila, no? Prepaid expenses, unearned income, accrued expenses, and accrued income. So expenses, income, expenses, income. So binanggit na rin ng book. The purpose of reversing entries is for consistency, the recording of expenses and income. So the following transactions will illustrate the purpose of preparing the reversing entries. So reversing entries, general journal. So bagong journal na, bagong taon na. At the start of the new accounting period are as follows. Prepaid expense, so debit to expense, credit to prepaid expense. And then yung amounts. And then for the unearned income, the reversing entry is, of course, debit, unearned income, and credit to the income. Pero you have to specify which account yung income na yun. Saan income? Anong account? Which income account? Then, for the accrued expenses, so ito naman yung debit, accrued expense, and credit to mali. Credit to expense. Credit to expense. And then number 4, for the accrued income, the reversing entry is the income. So you have to specify which account, which income account yung income na i-debit and credit the accrued income or income receipt. So yung sample, I also got it from the book lang naman. So let's say, ito madalas mangyari sa mga parenta. Let's say December 1, 2020. We pay 2 months rent in advance. Usually naman yan, standard na yun pag nangungupahan ka. You have to pay 2 or 3 months rent in advance. So, yung mga entry mo, ito mangyayari sa kanya. So, for the company, December 1, 2020, you have a rent expense, 8,000. Ito na yung pay. So, worth 8,000. So, rent expense of 8,000. Naglabas ka ng cash, no? Nag-credit ka ng cash. And then, for December 31, dun pa lang magka-count yung prepaid rent na 4,000. And then, rent expense. So, pumastos ka ng 4,000. Ngayon, mangyayari sa January 1 naman, the next May, New Year, nag-reverse lang siya, reversing entries. So, 4,000 yung rent expense, make up lang yan. And then you have a prepaid rent of 4,000. So, nung December 1 kasi, yung expense is used record the expense. No? I-record mo siya as expense. And i-recognize mo rin yung prepaid expense, no? Which is the rent for January. So, pag hindi ka kasi nag-reversing entries, no? If no reversing entry is made on January 1 of the following year, which is 2021, sa pagdating ng January 31, prepaid rent. Yung prepaid rent mo is overstated. And rent expense for January is not yet recognized. So that's why we always do the reversing entries. With the reversing entry, every the rent is paid. Tuwing binabayaran mo yung renta, whether nag-advance ka o hindi, you have to use the rent expense para ma-indicate mo sa records. So ito, baliktad lang naman. Example of income collected in advance. So halimbawa, ikaw naman yung nagpapaupa. So nakakollect ka ng 2 months. So ginamit niya rito ang sample is uh, 6,000. So December 1, tumanggap ka ng cash. 6,000. So yung credit cash, debit cash, 6,000. And then credit rental income worth 6,000. However, yung rental income mo sa December 31 pa marirealize yung 3,000. So meron ka pang unearned, which is for next month. Credit unearned income, 3,000. So 6,000 minus 3,000 equals 3,000. And then for this one, 3,000. Ay hindi mo na nako-consume. Then, pagdating mo ng January 1, reverse the entries lang. Yung unearned income naman yung naka-debit. And then, yung rental income naman yung naka-credit. 3,000 and 3,000. So, pagdating kasi ng December 31, there's a need to reduce the income and recognize. Reduce mo siya kasi na-consume na yung for that month. Recognize the unearned income rental for January of the following year. So, katapusan mo pa ng January, makukuha yung rental income. So, you have to reverse the entry. Pagdating ng January 31, doon mo pala magagamit yung rental income for that month. So, if no reversing entry is made on January 1, no? So let's say hindi ka nag-reverse entry, then pagdating mo ng January 31, the unearned rental income will be overstated. And the rental income for January is not recognized. So parang in a way, dito, bakit wala? Saan ang galing tong pera na to? So that's one of the reasons why reversing entry is done. So with the reversing entry, every time the rental is collected, so tuwing nakakakubra ka o nakakakolekta ka ng renta, whether in advance or not, the rental income, so this one is always used credit, hence there is consistency. Yeah. So let's see here, December 1, credit. So dapat talaga pag reversing entries ka for January 1, para credit ulit. 3,000 na renta. So, ito naman, no, for accrued expenses. So, madalas ito mangyari sa atin, no, si Judith. So, the Meralco bill is paid every 15 of the following month. So, let's say nag-consume ka ng kuryente. No? Sa 15 mo pa, babayaran yun. So, nauna ka mag-consume mo bago magbayad. So, let's say for the scenario, no, the bills for November and December are as follows. November, ang bill mo kunwari sa kuryente is 4 or 5. And then for December, 5,000. So ito yung mga magiging entry mo sa Ito yung mga magiging entry mo. So meron kang utilities expense na 4-5 for the month of November. So credit cash. 5 ka ng cash, 4-5. Hence, nabayaran mo yung bill for November. So, pagdating naman ng December, hindi mo pa nabayaran yung bill kasi babayaran mo pa siya ng January 15. Delay. So, mangyayari, ganun pa rin. Debit pa rin, no? Utilities expense, 5,000. And then yung kailangan mo bayaran, which is the utilities expense payable, you have to credit that 5,000. Para pagdating ng January 1, meron kang 5,000 na i-recognize as payable to be debited. Utilities expense payable by January 1 worth 5,000. And credit of utilities expense na 5,000. So meron kang kailangan bayaran. And then, as you can see, no, January 15 and December 15, they are the same. So, dito lumalabas yung usefulness ng reversing entries. So, utilities expense mo, you have to debit it, 5,000. Kailangan magbayad ka na ng bill mo. And the cash, bayad ka. So, credited as 5,000. Yun nga. Nabanggit ko na yung reasoning. So, dahil hindi mo na pa nababayaran yung bill ng kuryente no December 31 no, for the month of December, kailangan mo gumawa ng adjusting entry. An adjusting entry is necessary. If no reversing entry, so halimbawa hindi mo siya ginawa, then the entry to record the payment on January 15 is as follows. So, pag hindi ka naman gumawa ng reversing entry, ito naman ang mangyayari sa'yo. January 15, utilities expense payable, 5,000. And then, credit to cash, 5,000. So, nagbawasan ka lang na isang step. So, ito naman, example of income not yet collected. So, in this scenario, the company receives commission during every 15 of the following month. So, kada 15 kada 15 ng buwan, meron siya napatanggap na commission. So, the commission income for November and December 2020 are as follows. So, 12,000 for November and then 12,500 for December. So, ganyan naman ang mangyayari sa entry niya. So, cash, no? December 15. Yung December 15 mo, yung commission mo for November, December 15 mo pa. December 15 mo pa lang siya makukuha. So, 12,000. And then, credit to commission income, which is 12,000. And then, December 31, no? So, in January mo, hindi mo pa siya makukuha. Next month mo pa makukuha yung commission mo for December. So, that means you have a commission income receivable worth 12,500. You have to record it on December 31. And then credit it as commission income. 12,500. So, pagdating ng January 1, 2021, reversing that. So, commission income debit na siya. So, you will credit it as receivable. So, 12,500. Sa January 15 mo pala makukuha yung commission mo for the month of December. So, hence, you have cash for January 15, 2021, debited 12,500. And then, yung commission income, it is credited as commission income. So, kung hindi ka naman gumawa ng reversing entry, no, on January 1, 2021, so parang natanggal lang yung dalawang steps. No? Naging debit to cash and then credit to as commission income receivable. So, commission, income receivable, and cash. So, debit and credit ng commission income. So, the above entry will not be consistent with the entry for similar collection. Kasi you will notice, yung entry natin for December is cash and commission income. Whereas kung hindi ka nag-adjust ng reversing entries, cash and commission income is receivable. So, dito commission income ng credit for its commission income receivable. So with the reversing entry, every time a collection is made, the credit to income account is on. So again, you're doing this reversing entry for consistency purposes only. So December 15, cash and commission income. January 15, cash and commission income. Versus without the reversing entry, cash and commission income receivable. Okay. So, ano naman to? 2 months of recording prepaid expenses. So to illustrate the two methods of recording prepaid expense, assume the following transactions. Sorry. So let's say nagrenta ka ng December. Yung time niya. So SOP, you have to pay the rent 3 months in advance. December, January, and February. So yung renta niya is 4,000 a month. So total is 12,000. And then by March, paid the rent for March. Yeah. So you have two methods. You have two methods, which is the expense method and the asset method. So yung expense method, so pagdating ng December 1, naglabas ka ng 12,000. So, ang tawag dito, you have an expense. So, you debited expense of 12,000 and credited cash for 12,000. So, nangyari dito, you made the payment of rent for 3 months. So, dito muna tayo kay expense method mag-focus. And then, for December 31, so meron ka pang prepaid rent. Worth 8,000, no? For January and February. And then, credit that to rent expense worth 8,000. Again, for the 2 months remaining sa rent. So, this is an adjusting entry. Pagdating ng January 1, diyan ka naman magkakaroon ng reversing entry. So, pinagpaligtad mo lang. Rent expense worth 8,000. Then, prepaid rent, 8,000. So, that's why it's called the reversing entry. So, hindi na pinakita yung February. So, let's say sa March, magbabayad ka pa lang, no? So, rent expense and then cash flow. So, tuloy-tuloy lang ganyan siya. March, April, May, June, July, August. Until darating na naman yung December, so meron ka na naman reversing fees. So, sa asset method naman, no, ganun pa rin siya. So, first scenario, nagbayad ka ng 3 months rent, 12,000 debit, no? And then cash, 12,000. So, nagbayad ka pa rin ng renta. Pero, nangyari dito, December 31, ginawa niya rent expense. So, parang napaaga na siya. Ito na yung parang pinaka-reversing entry niya, which is 4,000. Yung payment niya supposed to be for January 1, nilagay niya na kagad sa December 31. Rent expense, 4,000. And then, yung paid rent is 4,000. So, naiba yung adjusting entry niya. Therefore, pagdating mo ng January 1, no reversing entry is necessary. So, ito nga lang ang problem. Pagdating mo ng March 1, prepaid rent. Iba yung entries niya na debit and credit. So, here you can see rent expense. Dito, prepaid rent. So, pag dito, prepaid rent, dito, rent expense. So, pagdating mo ng March, prepaid rent. So, parang pinalalabas na nag-bayad ka na ng advance. So, pumasok ka naman sa cash. Credit to cash, 4,000. So, under the expense method, no, dito muna tayo. Payment for rent is considered debited to rent expense. Ayun. Debited expense provided a reversing entry is made. So, kailangan mo ng reversing entry. So, ito rent expense, December 1 and March 1. Pag sa asset method, on the other hand, payment for rent is consistently debited to prepaid. Iba lang yung method with adjustment at year-end. So year-end ka lang yung adjustment pero wala kang reverse. prepaid expense. So, dito naman, ikaw naman yung nakakolekta. To illustrate the two methods of recording prepaid expense, assume the following transaction. So, ito naman, ikaw naman nakakolekta, December 1, may pumasok sa'yo na bagong mangungupahan, collected 3 months in advance. From December to February. So, 1,000. 4,000 naman. And then March 1, mangungulekta ka ng renta para sa buwan ng Marso, 4,000. So let's focus first on the income method. So debit cash credited as rental income, 12,000. So ano nangyari? Nakakolekta ka ng renta. Pagdating ng December 31, meron ka pang income. Debited rental income, 8,000. And then credit that as unearned rental income. Nakuha mo lang yung pera pero hindi mo pa siya hindi mo pa siya literally nakuha. Nakuha mo siya pero hindi mo siya na-earn. Hence it's called unearned. So this is the adjusting entry. Now, pagdating ng January 1, bagong taon, you do the reversing entry of the December 31. Debits and credits. So yung unearned rental income magiging debit na siya. Yung rental income debited noong December 31, credit na siya. So ibig sabihin, for January 1, meron ka pang 8,000 na hindi mo pa talaga kinikita. No? Kasi for January and February pa siya. And then, that is the reversing. Pagdating naman ng March, yeah. So, magbabayad ulit. Makakakolekta ka ulit ng cash. The debit, 4,000. And credit that to rental income, 4,000. Hence, there is collection of rental. Sa liability method, ganun din naman siya. Pero baliktad lang. Prepaid rent naman siya as considered. So, nabayaran na yung renta. However, you will have to credit that as unearned. Kasi end of December, end of January, and end of February, ma-earn renta na yan. So, ganun pa rin scenario niya, collection of renta. Then, pagdating na December 31, you have debit unearned rental income worth 4,000. And then, credit that to rental income. So, yun yung pinaka-adjusting entry. 1,000. For the month of December. So, pagdating mo ng January 1, no reversing. Okay. Pagdating ng March, iba lang recognition niya, cash. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Kaya pala may mali. Cash. Ayan. Nagtataka ako. So, yun, sorry. Cash yung 12,000. Wait lang po. Okay. Wait lang, may dumaan lang po. Ayun, okay. So, iba lang, no? Cash and unearned. No? Yun yung pinagkaiba ni income versus liability nito. Here, you have the rental income sa credits. Whereas here sa liability, it's unearned rental income. Okay? So, pagdating ng March, you can see, nakakolekt ako ulit ng renta, no, 4,000. Pero, yung credit entry mo is baliktad pa rin. Sa income, it's rental. Whereas here sa liability, it's unearned rental income. Okay. Okay. So another sample to avoid the necessity. Sorry. Tama. So pinagkaiba lang naman ni liability versus income is that no reversing entry is necessary. Under the liability method, collection for rental is consistently credited to unearned. So yun yan, banggit ko na. No? With adjustment at year end, but without reversing it. So here, another sample. Similarly, to avoid the necessity of preparing the reversing entry for uncollected income, accounts receivable. So, accounts receivable account is used. This account is not reversed. So, hindi nire-reverse yung accounts receivable instead of income receivable account. So, for example, December 1, nagbayad ka ng unpaid insurance worth 12,000. So, ginawa lang yung insurance rather than rent. Okay. Tapos, January 15, next year, so let's say here, 2021 yung nilagay ko, paid the insurance and then January 31, tapos na ng buwan, paid the insurance. Again, 4,000. So, anong nangyari sa mga entries niya, kulang ako isa. Sorry. So, nasa book na. Kulang yung, hindi ko na ilagay yung December 31. So, December 31, nag-debit ka ng insurance expense. Okay. So, adjust ko na mamaya. Okay. So, December 31, nag-debit ka ng insurance expense. And then, credit siya as accounts payable. So, you have to pay that. Then, the next year, no, pagdating na January 15, you have an accounts payable worth 12,000. And cash. No? Okay, so renta. Yan. So, January 15, you have accounts payable debit, 12,000, and credited to cash worth 12,000. So, ang record doon is payment of insurance. pagdating ng January 31, so insurance expense na naman. Debited to insurance expense worth 4,000 and credited to cash 4,000. Again, payment of insurance. Based dun sa scenario na yun, yung unpaid insurance mo is supposed to be due for January. No? And binayaran niya na January. Accounts payable. So, January ka pala mag-start magbayad. Okay. So, minsan ang ginagawa ng iba, no, to avoid the necessity of preparing reversing entry for uncollected income. So, imbis na magre-reverse entry ka pa, ang ginagawa ng iba, accounts receivable account is used rather than payable. Accounts receivable. Income receivable. So magkakaroon ka ng problema sa pag-record ng income. Also, all collectibles will be lumped together in the account of accounts receivable. So hindi mo siya may express mabuti. Let's say, income from insurance or income from rent. So, nangyari lahat naka-AR lang. So, this account should only be used for customers. Pwede mo naman gawin, pero it's recommended to be done for customers accounts only. Pero kung for the company's usage, medyo hindi siya advisable. So, another scenario. Yeah. So, to illustrate, assume the following transactions. So, December 31, meron kang hindi pa nakokolektang renta. Uncollected rental income for December worth 6,000 pesos. And then January 15, no? Doon mo lang nakolekta yung renta na yun. So, it happens naman that we will collect the rental on December 31. So, January 15 mo na siya nakolekta. And then January 31, collected the rental income for January worth 6,000. So, rental for December, rental for January. Ayan. So, yung entries mo naman, so here, debit to accounts receivable. So, hindi mo pa siya nakukuha, you're going to receive it, 6,000. Credit that to rental income. So, you have a rental income, 6,000. Then, pagdating ng January 15, na-common yung renta, cash. Let's say it's cash. Debit that to cash for 6,000. Ito yun. December, nakolekta mo siya ng January 15. And credit to accounts receivable, 6,000. So, December 31, accounts receivable, na-common na siya, therefore credit na siya. Then, January 31, same process na. Cash, 6,000. Pero here, again, credit to rental income na siya. So, supposed to be, kung walang delay, no? Cash and rental income lang siya. Debit to cash and credit to but since there is a delay, nangyari, nagkaroon ka ng accounts receivable na debit and credit. Oh. So, okay, bago tayo mag-closing entries. So, note lang, no? The expense method for recording expenses is the traditional. Balik natin sa expense. So expense method is the recommended, the traditional, no, or conventional method. Again, I already explained why it is the conventional or traditional. The, the asset is merely an alternative method. No? Pampadali lang siya, alternatibo. Pero hindi naman natin siya sabi, kailangan niya sa expense. However, yung expense method pa rin ang preferred accounting standard for the following reasons. When I ilagay siya. I'll add it later. By the very nature of the item, it is really an expense. Expense. Kasi nangyari dito sa asset, if you will notice, yun yan, naging prepaid trend pagdating ng March. Prepaid trend. But it is really, it must be considered as expense. Naglabas ka muna ng pera eh. So kada transaction mo is an expense, not necessarily prepaid. It is only considered as an asset because at the end of the accounting period, it may still be prepaid. So ginagawa lang siyang asset, considered as an asset method due to being prepaid or not yet used up. So hindi mo pa siya nagagamit. On the date it is paid, no? Halimbawa, itong araw na to, no? December 1, 2020, it is assumed that it will be used up before the preparation of the financial statement. Hence, an expense account. Ito yun. Ito yung sasabi niya. In December 31. The date it is paid, it is assumed that it will be used up before the preparation of the financial statement. Number two, it is expedient in the sense that there is no need to prepare adjusting entry at the end of the accounting period. Should the expense be used up? Okay. Ulitin ko lang. Dumaan kasi yung topic. It is expedient in the sense that there is no need to prepare adjusting entry at the end of the accounting period. Should the expense be used up? So, again, for uniformity purposes, in December 31 is for adjusting entry purposes only. So, dito ulit yung back to normal. January 1. Of course, no? Number 3, favorite natin, no? The principle of materiality dictates that if the amount of the expense is negligible, hindi malaki yung impact, no, sa company or sa iyo, no? Negligible or immaterial, although not yet used up, it should be charged to as an expense. No? Expense pa rin, whether negligible or not. No? It should be debited to an expense. Okay. Then, number 4, there will be no consistency. Nga, no? No consistency in the recording of expenses. Ang magugulat na lang sila dito eh. Saan galing tong rent expense? Compare dito, meron ka uniformity. Rent expense, prepaid rent expense. Dito kasi prepaid rent and cash. There will be no consistency in recording of expenses because there are expenses payable in advance and there are expenses which are not. So meron mga mga gastusin na pwede mong bayaran in advance. Yun lang yung sinasabi niya. Okay. Wala na yung track. Okay. So there will be no consistency in the recording of expenses because expenses payable and there are expenses which are not. No? So meron mga hindi siya kayang payable in advance. Kailangan on that same day mismo. And then number 5, charging to expenses rather than to asset. An expense paid in advance is more conservative. So mas sure ka rin. And mas hindi siya confusing. I-reverse mo lang. Okay. Okay. Okay tayo. Okay. So, closing entries masyado na-discuss last time. So, expound ko lang. So, what are closing entries? They are to be made from the adjusted trial balance. So, a closing entry is a journal entry that is made at the end of an accounting period to transfer balances from a temporary account, from temporary to permanent. Okay. So, closing entries. Yeah. So you have four: no? Revenue accounts, expense accounts, income summary, and the drawings account. Technically, lima sila. Okay. This is accomplished by reversing the position of the accounts. So if a worksheet is prepared, however, the income statement in the worksheet will show merong net loss or net income without the benefit of preparing. So kung may worksheet ka, diba? No need, no need to show the closing entries. Pero kung wala kang worksheet, you can do the closing entries. Furthermore, the adjusted balances of all the nominal accounts are already summarized in the worksheet. Hence, which will serve as a basis for preparing the closing entries. So, ang mangyayari, kung meron kang worksheet, yun ay magiging basihan mo sa paggawa ng isang closing entry. Okay. 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 Ayan. So, to close the revenue account, to close the revenue account, debit income summary and credit to income summary. Parang check ko. Okay. Debit income summary, credit to debit revenue. Sorry. Debit revenues. Tapos ito, debit income summary, credit expenses. So, okay. To close the revenue account, debit to revenues and credit to income summary. Pag expenses naman, baliktad lang. Debit income summary, credit to expenses. O babalikan natin explanation later. To close the income summary account, if there is a net income, then debit income summary and to owner's capital. Pag may net loss naman doon sa income summary, baliktad. No? Debit naman si owner's capital. So, una the owner. No? Debit owner's capital, credit to income summary. And then for the drawings, debit owner's capital and credit owner's drawings. So, explain ko lang ulit. So, itong dalawa, to close the revenue and the expense accounts, and it closes out all the income statement accounts to the income summary account. After making the first two entries, the balance of the income summary account is either a credit or a debit and should be equal to the amount of net income or loss, respectively. So yung number 3 naman, to close the income summary account if there's a net balance. It closes out the income summary account to the owner's capital if there is a net income. Kung may kita. So, ganun din siya sa number 4 naman. Closes out the income summary account to the owner's capital kung merong net loss. In number 5, close the drawings account. Closes out the owner's drawings to the owner's capital. So number 5 closes out the owner's drawings to the owner's capital. Although there's an outflow of resources in the owner's drawings. So ibig sabihin, nag-drawing siya, umubra siya. It is not included in the income statement. No? Nasaan ba siya? No? Sa SOE. since it is purely a transaction with the owner. Okay. So, yung sample problem natin, no, yun nasa book pa rin. However, yung mga last few entries, medyo hindi ko na siya natapos. You can check at the book. So, pinakita ko lang siya para when you have your own time, hindi na kayo maghahanap sa book. Yung other pictures or other entries, I can add later. So, pinakita yung nangyari. No? Si Maputin, no? Yan. Ano ba yung mga nangyari? Ito yung transactions. No? They're all on the book. You know naman. So, i-explain ko lang konti. Yan. So, from December 1 up to parang mali yata nilagay ko. December 31. If I'm not wrong. December 1 to December 31 yan. So, of course, kailangan mo muna yung chart of accounts. So, chart of accounts, and then you will do your GL, segregate, no? Cash, note receivable, impairment loss, and yung supplies, prepaid, advertising. Okay. 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 So, ano ko lang muna, no? So, after ng closing entries, magkakaroon ka naman ng preparation of closing entries sa general journal. And then, after that, you will do the post-closing trial balance. And then, ruling the ledger. Ayan. Sabihin, tapos na. Ruling the ledger. And then, gagawa ka ng opening entry. Okay, hindi ko pala nilagay opening entry. So, the opening entry is done to carry forward to the next accounting period. So, panibagong taon, panibagong yugto. No? So, panibagong libro. To carry forward in the next accounting period the balances of the balance sheet. In yung book of accounts. An opening entry is prepared in the general journal as shared. So you have it on the book. The basis of the opening entry is the post-closing trial balance. So let's say ang post-closing trial balance mo is 330,000. Yung post-closing trial balance mo will carry over dun sa opening entry mo. So the opening entry and the post-closing trial balance are pretty much the same. Wala silang masyadong pinagkaiba, kundi panibagong taon lang. And then reversing entry, no? After the opening entry, the last step. Okay. The last step or procedure is to prepare the reverse entries. in the general journal. So yun yung ginawa natin kanina, no? Reversing entries. So this is done by simply reversing some of the adjusting entries prepared at the end of the accounting period, as discussed kanina. So reversing entries are prepared, of course, for the consistency in the treatment of income and expenses. Yun lang yung pinaka-purpose niya, para hindi magbago. So page 105 naman. Are the effects of the reversing entries. So, pakita ko lang ulit ng kanina. Reverse. Ayan, no? So, effects of the reversing entries on the prepaid expense muna. No? The prepaid expense, ano ba yun? No, na-discuss na siya. So, this expense and advertising expenses are recognized as expense in the new period. So, yung mga expenses naman, yung prepaid, sara mo. Pero yung expenses, tuloy pa rin siya. Sorry. When the prepaid expenses recognized in the previous period are used in the new accounting period, there's no need to prepare any adjustment or adjusting entry. Also, the expenses recognized are true. Expenses are recognized are true. Expenses of the period in the previous period. So, dapat kung ano man yung nangyari last year na yun, hindi na siya ika-counted for the next year. Yan. Yan yung entry. Of course, this is in conformity with the principle of matching costs against the revenue. So, what does matching costs against revenue mean? So, it simply means that the cost incurred on a given period must be matched against the revenue generated during the same year. So, hindi pwede yung mga ginastos mo last year, ika-count mo pa rin hanggang this year. Sa yearly basis. So, dito muna tayo kaya, no? Unearned income. After the reversing done, the unearned income, unearned repair income, kunwari, account is closed. No? Close. Sarado ng libro, and the account repair income. No? Ito na may i-recognize. When the unearned income becomes earned in the next accounting period, there is no need to prepare the adjusting entry. Also, the income earned as previously recognized truly pertains to the income of the next period. So, ito na yun. Ito na yung magki-carry over. In short, lahat yan. No? Ito na yung magki-carry over yung mga credits. And not of the previous period. Kasi ito, ano na to eh, previously na to. No? Okay. So, dito naman, sa accrued expense. Let's say yung mga liability, because the liability is closed by the reversing entry on the date of the payment. Katulad nung kanina yung Meralco. Accrued expenses. Yan. Katulad ito si Meralco. The debit will be consistently charged to an expense account. Expense. Huh? If it is not reversed, then on the date of payment, the debit will be to a liability account. Hence, meron yung kanina yung expense versus liability, no? Magiging liability siya rather than expense. Ayun. And then last but not the least, for the accrued income, no? Because the rental receivable account is closed, knows mo siya, on the date of collection, the amount will be consistently credited to an income account. If no reversing entry is made, rental receivable account will be credited upon collection. So, balikan lang natin. Kasi, rent expense. Balik. Ulitin ko lang. Rental receivable account is closed by the reversing entry. On the date of collection, the amount will be consistently credited to an income amount. Rental receivable. As mentioned earlier, no, as per the book, to avoid the necessity of preparing reversing entries, the asset method for recording expenses paid in advance, so ito yan, prepaid rent, can be used so long as they will be used consistently. So, ibig sabihin, pag ginamit mo yung asset method, prepaid rent, tuloy-tuloy na siya, prepaid rent, prepaid rent, prepaid rent. Okay. However, no, yung asset method kasi is just an alternative method as mentioned kanina. The expense method for recording expenses, whether prepaid or accrued, no? An income method for ayaw magkano. Ayan, no? And income method for recording income, whether pre-collected or accrued, no? So, whether na-collecta mo na yung income mo o hindi pa, sila pa rin yung nananaig. Sila pa rin yung conventional methods. Uh, due to, as mentioned, due to consistency and continuity. Also, not all expenses are paid in advance, and not all income can be collected in advance. So, okay. So later, no, we'll do a sheet work during your asynchronous activity. So I will post it later, no? Ano oras ba? 9:55. So, nangyari.